question. I've got to talk about the Giro a bit in this one. The Giro, stage 10, Peter Sagan wins. Just proves you can win a World Tour stage if you're the most established sprinter in the group. And your bike weighs 7.8 kilos, which was Peter Sagan's bike, the SL7 tarmac disc, which I've got one myself. Heavy bike. GCN video. They weighed the bike 7.8 kilo, Peter Sagan's bike. His bike used to be 6.8 kilo. So yesterday in the Giro, stage 10, Peter proved that a 7.8 kilo heavy-ish disc brake bike can win. If you're Peter Sagan and your bike's 7.8 kilos and everyone else in that bunch isn't as an established sprinter as you, it proves you can win that bunch sprint. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, see, look, Peter, disc brakes win again. Disc brakes didn't win jack. Peter Sagan wins because, one, he's obviously the most established, experienced sprinter in that bunch of riders, and he's got sufficient glycogen, partitioning, and hydration, all those parameters. He wins in spite of the extra 1 kilo weight penalty. All right? That's just like me, it's like putting a D-lock. It's like getting an ABIS D-lock, a 1 kilo D-lock, slapping it on your seat tube, and winning the bike race. And all the noobs out there go, look, the D-lock wins the bike race. It's 1 kilo dead weight. If you think 1 kilo doesn't matter, then I don't know what to say. You've been drinking a lot of specialized marketing Kool-Aid, a bit too much. Now, some of the specialized product they make is fantastic. They sell is fantastic. But come on, like, what World Tour rider actually wants disc brakes on their bike? Zero. Oh, but in the cycling advert, the World Tour rider says he likes the disc brakes. These people are professional athletes. Their mortgages, things are paid by them being sponsorship friendly. If the sponsor says, hey, disc brakes are good, aren't they? The guy's like, no. Oh, yeah, they're great. I love disc brakes. They're great. Extra weight penalty, slow wheel changes, mechanics life harder. Disc brakes are great for road bikes in the World Tour. Yeah. Every single professional cyclist in the World Tour hates disc brakes to a varying degree. Some are just like, oh my God, this is going to block it out. And the mechanics absolutely despise road disc brakes because they're so temperamental. Or Harley, in the MotoGP, the disc brakes are so bad. How come they use them in MotoGP? People actually said it to me. That's like your grandpa or your grandma saying, you spent $2,000 on a bike, your Walmart, you can get one for $150. It's got 2 wheels, it's got cranks, it's got a saddle. Like, why would you spend $2,000 on a bike when you go to Walmart, get a Huffy? If road disc was so bad in the World Tour, how come the MotoGP riders use it? I don't know, like, it makes me laugh, gives me high blood pressure, elevates my triglycerides, but it's easier to fool people than convince them they've been fooled. If you respect people enough, I respect my audience enough not to bullshit you. I'm going to give you the very best information that's going to save you time, money, and health. Yeah, and my long-term subscribers understand that. But a lot of new people to the channel like, this guy's weird, man. I'm unsubscribing. I dislike it. Like, they disrespect me, and I respect them trying to help them. So it's a crazy paradigm. You see it with family and friends as you get older. You're trying to help someone, and they're like, they disrespect you. You're giving them the truth that will help set them free. Obviously, everyone has little white lies here and there, protect people's feelings. I get that. But I'm giving you the hands-down truth here in diet, nutrition, lifestyle to help set you free from all the marketing, societal, parental, patriarchal, matriarchal BS out there. And some people are like, Durianrider, you're an idiot. Durianrider's a clown. And I understand. I don't take it personally. I have no hate for any noob out there who says, but look at this. Peter Sagan won the stage Durianrider. Just a 7.8 kilo bike is offset for the 6.8 kilo bike because of the aero benefits and you can brake late in the corner. Peter Sagan doesn't even use his brakes hardly, man. Have you ever ridden with World Tour riders? I have, many times. Sagan, Valverde, Froome, Lance, all the crew over the years, if I'm not going to name drop. Up and down hills and the flat sprint lines, smashing up climbs, etc. World Tour riders hardly use their brakes, and when they do, it's minimal. Because you lose positions in the bunch. You have to learn the neuromuscular facilitation not to use your brakes. You have to develop new neurohormonal pathways where you don't crap yourself because you're going 110k down a hill, and you got zero protection pretty much, other than a little ice cream lid and some lycra. There are neurohormonal and neuromuscular facilitations that world tour riders have to adapt to put your life on the line. So when you think that world tour riders want disc brakes that are extra heavy, like they've learned to live without sufficient braking. And here's the real truth. Your braking limitation is basically your tyre traction. And if you've got a skinny 23, 25 mil tubular at 100, 120 psi, hydro road disc is just the stupidest thing ever. Because you losing that traction, bye-bye. There's not a single world tour rider out there who's using a Dura-Ace rim caliper who goes, wow, I don't feel safe. There's not enough braking here with one of the modern high-end carbon clincher rims or tubular rims. There's not a single world tour rider saying, wow, this feels really unsafe. You know what I mean? Zero. So, but anyway, Peter Sagan's bike, of course he's going to win yesterday. Look who's he's riding against. You know what I mean? It's like me riding a mountain bike and beating people on road bikes because I'm fitter than them. Then we credit the mountain bike. And then the noobs go, oh, Jordan rider rides a mountain bike in the road race, we'll ride mountain bikes. It's like, no, in spite of. There's a difference between because of and in spite of. If Peter Sagan had a flat tyre in the last 50 metres, he probably still would have won the sprint. Does that mean we should ride flat tyres? Performing in spite of something versus performing because of something. Okay, big difference there. So always have that critical thought process in your head where you're learning what's the logical factors here we got to consider, what causes the win or causes the loss. Egan the vegan Bernal, he's going to win the Giro, in my opinion, based on his parasympathetic nervous system refreshments there. And you're going to see guys like, the disc brake riders having that extra rotation mass on their wheels develop more fatigue metabolites over time. And then that's going to add up. Like Egan won the stage by 7 seconds yesterday. 7 seconds, that's a lot. That's a huge gap to create in such a small space of time. But if you think about the wheels, his wheel rotating mass is about 400 grams lighter. Remco, etc., their disc brake wheels are about 1,450 grams for the pair. No, they're not. During on Specialized website, they're 1,250. You got to add the rotors on there. The rim brake has the braking surface attached to it, all right? And the disc brake, it's called the rotor. So you got to add your rotors plus the bolts. That's your wheel weight, all right? Braking surface and braking surface. You got to compare the two. You can't compare a wheel without braking surface with one that does have. That's just stupid, all right? Come on, dog your face. Don't knock up the camera. We'll reach back. Hey, Stella. You know what I mean? It's like comparing a Ridgeback to a Chihuahua. It's like, no, you got to, So that's the deal. So I reckon Egan's obviously got the best equipment out there in terms of, mechanics having a good... Imagine the mechanics at Team Sky Ineos just sleeping easy. I set those brakes tonight, they're going to be perfect tomorrow. All the other teams are like, well, we set the brakes and then the next day the temperature drops and then Mahorek and his crash grabs too much brake. No, grabs sufficient brake, but there may be a bubble in the line or some compression or wherever, and that caused too much brake. Mahorek, very good descender, world tour rider, experienced, grabbed his brakes like normal, too much power got delivered to the rear wheel, lost traction, bye-bye. Lucky he wasn't really, really hurt. So that wasn't a noob error, that was a mechanical error of the bike. Not the mechanic's fault, not the engineer's fault, Shimano, or maybe, but they're very feminine. Disc brakes, road disc, very feminine, they're very new to this market. And like Shimano XTR, pretty much work all the time, every time, consistent. With a Shimano Dura-Ace or a SRAM, it's very feminine. Like 1 minute it's hot, 1 minute it's not. People are like, oh, what does feminine mean? It's like, I've been riding for 1 year. I've got a Rafa jersey and I've got a Canyon and I've got disc brakes and I've got Matthew Evenepoel posted in my bedroom. I don't know anything. I get it, all right? I used to be a noob 24 years ago. I get it, So I don't take it personally. I can empathise, I can relate. But please, if you're noob out there, don't pretend you got more knowledge than someone who's got 24 years of racing experience and training and all sorts of stuff and bike industry experience and brand, all the things. And I love being wrong. I'm not one of these people who can't be wrong. I love being wrong. If someone can prove me wrong, I feel awoke that day. I feel woken up because I found a better way. So I am one of my things every day I love to do is being proven wrong. I live for that because I get to learn a better way. I'm not Mr. Arrogant. No, I'm always right. No. I love being wrong. Love it. So if someone can prove it, mate, you're my best buddy in that moment. 100%. That's the video. That's the wrap up. Egan Bernal, for the win. Now what happened? He'll crash out. So you look at that durianrider, he crashed out. His brakes didn't work. I don't know. That's just how it is. We all have our biases, but I like to have a logical bias. My bias is towards logic. All right, bias towards logic. Heavy logic. That's my yardstick. Is this logical? Is this performance because of or in spite of? Simple as that. And if you have that mentality across your whole life, come here, look, Stella. If you have that mentality across your whole life, you're going to have a lot better life. Looking for the logical solutions, pragmatic solutions versus just emotional solutions.